Hello and welcome, MLBA fans. I am your host, King L5, and today I am bringing you week 1 of the MLBA versus my good friend Dougie. So, let's go over my team real quick. I decided to bring Lumineon straight away week 1 because it does have a decent matchup versus one of his potential stealth rockers being Empoleon. So if that thing is his stealth rocker, I can always defog on that thing and potentially get a Scald Burn on it, and I just beat that 1v1 and ensure never to have rocks on my side of the field, which is really nice for my next member, which is indeed Volcarona. Now this is going to be a fat Quiver Dance Roost, 2 attacks, Rocky Helmet, Volcarona. This doubles as a win condition plus a Mega Lopunny switch in / counter, plus it also switches in quite comfortably to a Kyurem Black, assuming no banded outrage of some sort, which wouldn't make sense because my Registeel is my obvious switch in on my draft, which I am bringing as well, but I'll get into that later. And yeah, so the next Pokemon is going to be my XATU, which I'm bringing a stored power variant this week. It had a really nice matchup, and yeah, so that's going to deter hazards as well for my Volcarona. He can't easily set up hazards versus me unless I let it happen. I can always sack my XATU in exchange for always preventing hazards from going up. And yeah, so moving on to my next Pokemon, I decided to bring my Mega Garchomp as it did wall break pretty well versus him. It does not outspeed a max speed Kyurem, which is unfortunate, but it does OHKO a lot of his team. So as a wall breaker, I really liked it in this mashup, and I decided to bring it as my stealth rocker as well. And I have enough speed on this to outspeed a max speed Nidoqueen as a potential lead on his side. So I can always get up rocks or fire off an Earthquake versus that thing. I don't have to worry about it outspeeding me potentially, because max speed lead set is actually what I did expect him to bring with the stealth rocks, because XATU can't really deter hazards from a Nidoqueen, and Lumineon cannot defog on it. It just takes too much damage from its hits. So yeah, I just decided to creep that. I felt it was worth it. And I do have Stone Edge and dual stabs on this thing. Stone Edge to hit Mandibuzz and I guess the Thundee, but like mostly the Mandibuzz. And yeah, moving on, I have an Iron Defense Baton Pass Sub Protect Scolipede with enough speed to outspeed a max speed Kyurem Black before any speed boosts. So I can always set up an Iron Defense before it can hit me, unless he's Choice Scarf, in which case I'll outspeed at +1. And so yeah, that's a good Pokemon pairing with XATU, as I can pass defense boosts, which boosts the power of stored power. Well, that was kind of a redundant sentence. But anyways, it's a really nice win condition there as well. And I decided for my last Pokemon to bring Registeel as my dedicated Kyurem Black switch-in, as that thing is very strong, and with the right set it can destroy my entire team. I do have the Shuka Berry on this so that Earth Power does not do too much damage, and I do avoid a 2-hit KO, I'm pretty sure, unless he's like Choice Specs gets a crit or something like that. But this is, I think, toxic for his Mandibuzz and Iron Head. I don't remember my other moves. I think it might have been Earthquake to hit the Empoleon and the Nidoqueen. I'm not sure what the 4th move is, but it's not going to end up mattering in this game. So for a lead matchup, well, I'll go over his team real quick. He has the Nidoqueen, Thunderous Eye, the Empoleon, Mandibuzz, Mega Lopunny, and the Kyurem Black. And overall, the biggest threats, I actually think the biggest threat is actually Nidoqueen, as it can, with its Sheer Force boost, pretty much 2-hit KO my entire team. Pretty much. Like, it can definitely do a lot of damage if I let it get out of hand. So I'm going to have to be careful about that. Dougie is the best user of Empoleon that I've ever seen. He actually got that thing on the MVP list of JBA's season, whatever it was that he had it. And so he has some creative sets with that, so that's always a wild card. But I'm not too threatened by it in this matchup. I do have the Lumineon, which kind of hardwalls it. Thundee Eye can always have the Prankster T-Wave, which can help stop a Volcarona sweep potentially, so I have to watch out for that before trying to set up. in his face with my Volcarona, and Kyurem Black can always break down my walls with its coverage, and it's just really strong power. Mega Lopunny not going to be doing too much this week, I don't think, because I do have defensive Volcarona, although if he does manage to get up rocks, that can be an issue. But anyways, let's get right into the match. I decided to lead off with my Garchomp versus his Nidoqueen, kind of what I expected, and I kind of figured he would have the Shuca Berry to absorb an Earthquake and get up his rocks, but I felt like Earthquake was still my best play even then. As it turns out, he's not Shuca Berry, he's Focus Sash. So that's a pretty good lead set for him. He goes for the Ice Punch to just OHKO me, and that reveals he is definitely offensive, as that would not have killed without a lot of attack investment. So now I'm going to go for the Substitute, predicting the rocks. I could have stunted and gone XATU, but like I also kind of want to win. So I decided not to do that and instead set up a Substitute, and I can go for the Iron Defense, and after a few Iron Defenses, he doesn't really have anything for a Stored Power XATU. So I am going to set up a sub here, just in case he predicts a switch, or if he doubles out into Kyurem on my second Iron Defense, which could be an issue, as I do need a sub up to be able to beat that thing. But I do go for the second Iron Defense, and I go for the sub again, just hoping he would over-predict, or like just generally predict my XATU switch in, as he's definitely seeing that in the back as a huge threat at this point. So as he does go for the Ice Punch, I'm not sure if Earthquake would break the sub, but at +6 defense it definitely will not. I am max HP, so yeah, definitely will not. He crits Ice Punch there. It didn't matter, it broke the sub regardless, but now I can set up a sub, and Earthquake, as you can see here, will not break the sub. And here I'm just going to go for a Protect, kind of not risky at all because there's no way he's switching at that point, and I decided to go for a little bit more Black Sludge recovery in case I needed to pass anything later, in case the sweep was somehow stopped. So now I go into my XATU, and at this point he breaks my sub with the Ice Punch, and as long as he does not crit this next Ice Punch, I basically win, because I go for the Calm Mind, and at this point pretty much everything dies, and he does not get the crit Ice Punch, which is really good for me. He's Sheer Force, so he cannot crit me. He goes into Thunderous on my Stored Power. I didn't want to risk another crit if I didn't have to, and Stored Power does OHKO a Nidoqueen at 1%, as well as the Thunderous. It does 2-hit KO the Empoleon, this being the other thing that can crit / freeze me, and fortunately he does not get either of those things, and I do 2-hit KO with the Stored Power. And at +6, +6, and +1, +1 from the Calm Mind, I am looking very threatening to his team. There's not really much he can do. I go for Dazzling Gleam here. I should have roosted, honestly, because Foul Play, if he crit there, that would have killed, whereas if I roosted, it would only do about 65%, and I would have easily lived. So I do go for the roost here, but I did want to see the Dazzling Gleam damage, and now I'm just going to use this thing as setup fodder, because he has to get like 6 crits in a row to take down my XATU, which statistically is not likely to happen, to put it lightly. So I'm just going to set up all the way to +4, I believe, and then I'm going to start firing off Dazzling Gleams and just take down this Mandibuzz, and then everything else drops the Stored Power, and that's going to be the clean sweep from XATU. 6 kills, and XATU being the uncontested MVP of this league so far after week 1. Spoiler alert, I did win this game. I don't know if you can tell at this point, but I did win. And at this point there is a 100% chance that I win. He cannot even crit me with Fake Out plus Quick Attack on Lopunny, because I am pretty much max defense on this XATU with a little bit of special defense, but mostly physically defensive. So as you can see, Fake Out doing 6, which means a crit would have done that times 4 times 1.5, so that times 6, so it would only do 36% roughly, and then if he crit Quick Attack after that, even that would not kill. So that's pretty ridiculous. And at this point, Stored Power is going to OHKO the Kyurem Black, and I'm going to pick off the Nidoqueen at 1 HP, and XATU getting all 6 kills. That's going to be the good game, and I hate to do it to you, Dougie, but I just had to. So XATU getting all the kills, and I'm taking the 5-0 win, which puts me right now at number 1 in the league, because all of the other games have been 1-0 victories so far. Not all of the week 1 matches have been done, but from what I've seen, most of them have been 1-0. And yeah, that's going to be all for this battle. Next week, I have no idea who I'm facing. I'll have to check the schedule, but expect that next week. And I'll see you guys in that video. Yeah.